Inside Out 2's big box office success. Inside Out 2 had a massive box office this weekend. This thing made bank. And when I say it made bank, it made tremendous, tremendous money. This movie was projected to make, a cute little, maybe a cute little, $80 million. A cute little $80 million. But looking at what it did, this is massive. This is a massive, massive thing. So this thing was projected to make anywhere between 80 million to 100 million. On the Friday it opened, this movie made $62 million opening day. That's really cute. Because if you look here, we have Disney and Pixar's expressive animated sequel Inside Out 2 scored a mighty $155 million in its first weekend of release, overtaking Dune Part 2 that made $82.5 million opening weekend, as well as Godzilla x Kong at $80 million as the biggest opening of the year. It's also the first release since last July's Barbie, opening at $162 million, to debut over $100 million. Heading into this weekend, the follow-up to 2015's cerebral hit Inside Out was projected to collect $80 to $90 million. So, before we go into this is very big. Why is this big? Well, let's talk about this for just a minute. This movie should not have made that much money against other films. But here's the thing. There's not anything else out that's really giving it competition. There's no family film that is recently released within the past 2 weeks that's going to give this competition. This movie is huge. The first one is beloved. It's one of the most rewatched films on Disney Plus, and it's one of Pixar's most renowned. We were terrified that this wasn't even going to be a massive hit at the box office because it's Pixar. Look what Lightyear did. I love Lightyear. I really love Lightyear. Not a lot of people do like Lightyear, but I love Lightyear as a side story about the movie that Andy watched to get him into the Buzz Lightyear character. This is huge. Let's take a look at this again. This movie, the second Inside Out, also connected at the international box office with $140 million, enough to surpass Frozen 2, $135 million, as the biggest overseas animated opening of all time. This is massive. Turnout was especially strong across the Latin American areas, where it landed the second biggest opening of all time behind Disney Marvel's epic Avengers Endgame. Globally, the movie has grossed $295 million to notch the title for the biggest animated debut in likes-for-likes markets at the current exchange rates. It carries a $200 million production budget. That's not including the marketing budget. So this is freaking massive. This is massive. So we do normally save the box office for one of the later segments, but I'm going to look at this first because this is freaking phenomenal. We're going to take a look at the box office for Inside Out 2 right now, because not many films do this. Not many films have this big of a rise in box office. So take a look at this. Projected at $80 to $100 million, this movie has already grossed $334 million within 5 days of release. Within 5 days of release. This is great for Disney and Pixar. This gives them hope. And this gives them an idea of what to do. People say, don't do sequels. Don't do sequels. Well, let's take a look at some of the other Disney and Pixar movies that did phenomenal at the box office. Let's take a look at The Incredibles 2, shall we? Which, by the way, is a movie I still have not seen. I have still not seen Incredibles 2, but I have seen the first Incredibles. Oh, whoa, look at that. $1.2 billion. $1.2 billion. Let's take a look at the domestic box office. Oh, wow, look at that. There's domestic box office. Look at this. That's opening weekend. Opening weekend is at $182 million, dropping 56% to $80 million. I project that, and I'm going to anticipate that this could do a 50-60% drop, but even that is going to be phenomenal. Because looking at this is on its second weekend. Taking a look back at Inside Out 2, that's going to make that this week. It's going to make another $15 million, $16 million this week alone to surpass that. I'm loving that for Pixar. I'm really loving that because this is a film that I was anticipating, right? And I do have my review for this coming just a little bit later. This is phenomenal for them. I'm loving this for them because Pixar needs this win. With Soul, Turning Red, and Luca making almost no money at the box office. Sorry, I hate to say it. No love at the box office for it. None. None at all. I just gotta say, I am so proud of this movie. I'm so proud for people going to theaters to see this movie because it's a massive win for them as a whole. $334 million is nothing to sneeze at. This is over what Lightyear made. This is over what multiple films this year has made. This is going to be right now the biggest film of the entire year, I think. Until we get to a couple weeks from now with Despicable Me 4 and then inevitably Deadpool and Wolverine, which will blow the box office up. So, there's my thoughts on the Inside Out 2 massive big box office success.